female cookies. We call it the PS, it's not we call them cushion. We don't speak ill of the dead. Hope you won't be offended by the things that I said. Play devil's advocate, and now I'm here to judge you. That's what you truth cause you work right out the level. Everybody's listening, nobody's tripping. This life's too crazy, everybody's flipping. This life so crazy, running to the pen. You on the right side, there's no need to pretend. It's an open forum, never done before. It's a future, it's a no-go. No cousins, things that left some that's no buggers. Now it's a car to switch off, we buzzing. We don't really care if you're right or you're wrong. The shame is the myth, it was ever time to clown.
Hey, it's hard to play. It's hard to play. Love has a catch. It's it's hard to play.
I think I went into something like this. Hit it!
At some point, you will be offended by something said on this show. But playing devil's advocate is meant to be a forum for open, honest, and more importantly, judgment-free dialogue. The opinions expressed here may not necessarily be those of the host or of the show in general, but we're willing to have the uncomfortable conversations so we can heal and find solutions for our listeners and quite possibly even ourselves. Enjoy the show.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Playing Devil's Advocate. I am your host, Miss KiKi, the consummate provocateur, and for the next 120 minutes, we're going to edutain you. That means for the next 2 hours, you are going to be educated and entertained. I think it's going to be a little bit of both tonight, so you may want to hold on for the ride. But before we can do any of that, I need to take care of some of the light housekeeping. And that is by letting you know we are here each and every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Central, and 10 p.m. to you guys on the East Coast. If you happen to miss the live broadcast of the show, don't you worry about a thing. You can always go to the iTunes store and type in our name, Playing Devil's Advocate, and you can subscribe to our podcast free of charge. And anytime we do a show, you will get a show. And while you're there in the iTunes store, you may want to type in my name, KiKi Richardson, and download yourself a copy of my book, The Other Woman Code of Conduct. What every other woman should know, and men too. See it right there. It's not free, but it's well worth the $9.99. Trust me, holiday season is upon us. I don't have any Black Friday sales because it's already not expensive, so no excuses. If you can't get to the iTunes store, you can always go to KiKiRichardson.com. And there you will be able to listen to any of the archive shows. You'll be able to find out about me, the other co-hosts on the show, any of our previous guests, all of our social media, purchase merchandise, everything right there. It's a big bonanza of info at KiKiRichardson.com. Also be mindful that we are a fully interactive show. None like us out there. So make sure that you are following us on Twitter at PDA_Miss KiKi. Send us tweets throughout the show and we will get your comments on air. Or you can post our Facebook wall at facebook.com/Playing Devil's Advocate, and we'll do the same by getting your comments there. While you're there on our Facebook page, you might want to click the link to our YouTube stream because we are streaming live on YouTube via Google Hangouts. And we have an interactive chat room there. So you will be able to chat with us on our chat room. So there's really no excuses for you not to be involved in the conversation tonight. But if everything that you want to say is too much to put in a written word and you want to call in and share your comments, do not hesitate. Our number is 347-237-5271. Don't forget to press 1 so our producer knows that you're in the queue and you have something you would like to share with us. So I think I've handled that business quite well and gotten it out of the way. I can't wait to bring on my cast of crew that rides shotgun with me each and every week. Sometimes I enjoy them. Sometimes I want to kill them. But either way, you got to know that I love them. I know you do as well. So without any further ado, let me bring on my crew. First up, she hails from my hometown, and so does he. She is known as the fallen angel because she somehow fell from grace for coining phrases like, lube is for amateurs, and you need to have your get out and fuck free card. I can't make this stuff up if I want to, ladies and gentlemen. But we'll talk more about that get out of fuck free card, I think, next week, when we talk about sexual responsibility or something, or knowing your status. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Sporty, Spunky, Angel. What it do, mamita?
Greetings and salutations, darling.
Uh-huh. And I see that little bald-headed scoundrel sitting right next to you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who he is, he thinks he's something like a pimp slap, but we call him Anlap because he's absolutely nothing like a pimp. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me and welcome into the show, Mr. Andreas. I'm absolutely nothing like a pimp, Ferguson. You forever going through some changes, and you need to know that pimping is not easy. That's why it's not for everybody, including you. Welcome, guys.
What's going on? What's going on? This is another Wednesday, and I am so happy to be back. And I'm gonna eat myself to death tomorrow. We lucky the show ain't tomorrow because I'd be asleep about this time. What's going on,
Whatever. Listen, guys. Tonight's show, it like I said in our Periscope, this 6 years ago, we had our first Thanksgiving show. And, I was thinking, well, people are going to be preparing their dinner. They're not going to have time to listen to the show. And I didn't have a pre-Thanksgiving show. And my listeners cursed me from here to there because they were like, wait a minute, we needed something to listen to while we were cooking. So I have not missed the show. We have not missed the show since that day. And we will be remiss in our duties. By not taking the opportunity to have the uncomfortable conversation that we always have that people don't have often enough, if at all. And tonight's topic is thanks, but no Thanksgiving. And it's pretty much one of those things while you're preparing your dinner for your feast, for your family and friends tomorrow for Thanksgiving, we're going to talk about the bubblegum version of how they told us what Thanksgiving was about, the tradition. And we're going to talk about how the Pilgrims did more harm than good. And why people just still continually blindly go along and celebrate something that has such a negative history attached to it. So, again, if you want to be a part of this conversation tonight, you can give us a call at 347-237-5271. Don't forget to press 1 so that we know you're in the queue and you have something you would like to share with us. You can post to our Facebook wall at facebook.com/playingdevilsadvocate. Or you can send us a tweet at PDA_Miss Kiki. I see a couple tweets coming in already from Dino the Lethal Warrior Wells. His documentary, When the Bell Rings, came out on video on demand this week. So if you didn't get a chance to get it, check it out. When the Bell Rings. It is executive produced by Meta World Peace. Some of y'all might still refer to him as Ron Artest. And this documentary is something I think everybody could learn something from. It's the test of will. It is the coming face to face with facing your demons and your fears. And it's a coming of age story for somebody who literally was not a young person. So, and also teaches a lesson about never giving up on your dreams. And I just wanted to give him a big shout out because the WBC actually honored him with an honorary championship for peace. So he has his WBC title now, along with his belts and his pin and all of that. So big shout out to you, Dino Wells. It has come to my understanding, before we get into our topic, we want to bring him in and show him some love just in person. So what's up, Dino? Poppy, congratulations.
Come along the journey, and you were there along with it, actually. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, I just want to appreciate, thank you, gratitude, and appreciate everything that you've done over the years, especially with the show, and you know it's inspiring as well. And we're doing good. It's awesome.
Well, I am so proud of you.
Well, that is so awesome. We're glad and we're very happy and supportive of you, as you know that. So just, just know that you have our love and support, and we are definitely here for you.
Yeah, congratulations, good brother. Congratulations.
We are definitely proud of you. So every tweet you send out about when the bell rings, I will do my damnedest. If you are part of our Playing Devil's Advocate group on Facebook, he posts in there. The trailer is off the chain. It only gives you a snippet of what the movie is really about. Before, like I said, before we get into our conversation, I just want to say I am honored that when they finished filming, Dino came to me and asked me, he said, KiKi, can you look at this cut that we have and let me know what your thoughts are? You know, what we may be missing, what you see that we can fix and tweak. And I felt honored that he thought enough of me and my opinion to give him that feedback. So hopefully, my input helped in some way, or just my support. And I just want to say thank you for honoring me enough and respecting my opinion enough to be able to be a part of something that was so personal to you, and that's a wonderful thing.
Thank you very much. Now, as you know what I'm saying, you were the first one that I let look at that, and that's that means a lot to me. And it's honoring for both of us actually. Now, as for the topic, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Just to put my little tidbit in, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. But if you want to feed me, I eat. You know what I'm saying? I ain't celebrating it with all the shindigs and shenanigans going on back around. I don't do that.
Okay, I absolutely dig it, and thank you so much for sharing your opinion on Thanksgiving. We're going to dig a little deeper into it, though. Are you going to stick around or no? Okay, cool.
Yay.
All right, cool. So let me just start things off then. And I wanted to start it off on a little lighter note, and then we're going to dig to the surface, get past the surface and dig in deep. But one of the things that I wanted to, to talk about today is that I wanted to know for each one of you guys if you can remember your most memorable Thanksgiving, good or bad. I don't care if you know what it, if it was good or bad, but do you remember it? And I'll start with you, Andrea, since you jumped out there and said yes. I want to hear what it was all about then.
Well, Thanksgiving 2001, my grandfather passed away. My grandfather Harry passed away, so that would have been my saddest Thanksgiving experience. And my family was out of town at the time, so I was by myself finding out that he went the way he did. And the very next year, I saved for months. And at that time, I was working for a transportation company, so I was able to bring in my entire family from around the country, and we had a great Thanksgiving weekend, as a matter of fact. So that was my worst, and then the next was my best Thanksgiving experience.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
What about you, Sporty?
I would say my best Thanksgiving experience is it was when I think I was about maybe 11 or so, and my grandma decided that I was going to help her cook. And I was like, well, where they do that at? And so I was in the kitchen, and I guess I was her little sous chef and helping her. And everyone came over. My sisters and brothers were there, aunts and uncles and cousins, and everyone that everyone that was, in the family. It was so many people because we have a large family. My grandma had like 22 brothers and sisters, so there were so many of them. And it was just full of love and fun. We put on a little talent show and all kind of little fun stuff. So it was real interesting. They used to call the furniture the dining room chairs we never get to sit in. I call them the airplane chairs because I got to sit in one of the airplane chairs, because it was all soft and cushy and red. So it was, a lot of fun, a lot of love. And it was Thanksgiving to me. It was just family, it's just like getting together, having a good time.
Okay.
What about you, little lady?
Well, I'm gonna let our guest speak first. Dina, Dina, do you remember what was your? Yeah, he is. What's your most memorable Thanksgiving?
Well, all of them when I was, every last one of them when I was a kid was just having all the family together, having fun, eating. Like as a kid, you don't know the meaning behind Thanksgiving, but family, I know every November we all get together. And I was ready to eat. You know what I mean? But like I said, when I learned the truth, I never had no bad ones. After I found out the truth, given I don't celebrate it no more.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, let's see here. I think for me, my most memorable Thanksgiving would have to be, I think it was my second year I was in LA. And no, it was my it was my second year in LA, and it was my second Thanksgiving there. And usually Bernie would always be in town around the holidays for some reason. This particular time he wasn't. And so I was sitting at home trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I used to go over to Jamie's house and cook all the time, right? But this Thanksgiving, I was just chilling at home. So the night before Thanksgiving, he calls and he was like, well, he had Deidre, his sister, call and say, because I had asked, well, what are y'all doing for Thanksgiving, blah, blah, blah. And, he was like, well, nothing really. We just gonna chill. He made a decision at the last minute. He calls me. It's 11 o'clock at night, Thanksgiving Eve. And he was like, KiKi, can you bring your roast and your ham? What roast? What ham? I don't have a roast and a ham just sitting around on deck. I'm like, first of all, my roast has to marinate over 12 hours in order for it to have its delicious juiciness. And I was like, and my ham, it needs to marinate too. And I was like, wait a minute, so it could be all sweet. And I'm like, where the hell am I supposed to find a roast and a ham at 11 o'clock at night? I found it, I cooked it, and it was my first time cooking like a real rib. I ended up cooking more than that at the house. Because I'm like, how y'all gonna have a dinner and I had nothing? But whatever. That was my most memorable one, that I actually had to cook the whole entire dinner for everybody. When I say everybody, it pretty much catered. I pretty much catered the damn Thanksgiving. But it was fun. It was good. We had a good time. That was my first one that I remember. Like, really remember.
Well, that sounds good. Super chef lady. Chef Boyardee.
I wasn't even trying, Chef Boyardee. No, I wasn't even really trying to cook. I was just like, how you going to call me at 11 o'clock at night? Who does that? But, hey, that's what people do. When you got food. Right. And I used to say to him, I said to him that night, why don't you go to the store while I'm on my way? He going to say, you going to learn to respect my star status. How you going to send me to the grocery store in the middle of the night? I'm like, you want to eat?
Your fans not lurking too much.
Yeah, But anyway, everybody knew where he lived, so it's not a big deal. But anyway, I think we all pretty much have the same experience in terms of what finding out about Thanksgiving. I think if we hadn't celebrated it in our own homes, we learned about it in school, most of us, right?
Right.
So, this is a twofold question for everybody. What was it that you learned in school, and then when was it that you found out what you learned was some absolute monkey ball BS? And how did you react to it? What was your reaction to it? And I'm going to start with you, Dino, and then I'll go to Sporty, and then I'll wrap it up with Andreas. Can't hear you. Can't hear you, baby.
Oh, no. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes. The Pilgrims and Indians, there's a big gathering, food, and, like peace and love. But when I heard just maybe 10 years ago that, I read through doing research and talking to people that's, like-minded as myself, and finding out that it wasn't like that. It was all just some big bullcrap. I was like, man, really? They slaughtered everybody? I'm like, why didn't you tell us that in school? They slaughtered everybody? That's messed up. That was shocking to me. And I said, I'm not celebrating that. That's crazy.
I could see how that would be. What about you, Sporty?
Well, of course, in school, I read my lovely little history books, and about the Pilgrims and Plymouth Rock and the Indians and, you know, how they all came together and it was a joyous occasion, you know, and they had all this big spread and, you know, it was a happy, happy, joy, joy day and we should all celebrate it. So, yeah, I found out about that in school. But then what had happened was initially my first inkling was, you know, living over there in Hyde Park, you over there by Farrakhan's house. You know, you got them Nation of Islam folk telling, well, you know, the real truth is. And I'd be like, huh? I'd be like, Mama, you know. So I start asking questions, and so then, you know, and I would get little tidbits. So I have my little inkling. But then I went to see Malcolm X, and he said we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
Okay. All right. What about you, Andreas?
Well, in school, I learned that a bunch of pink people came over on ships, and it came to a place called Plymouth Rock. They actually discovered this place, all right? They discovered Plymouth Rock. It doesn't matter that people were already here. So they came here. They discovered they landed on Plymouth Rock. They discovered that people were already here, but they actually discovered this place. And lots of them died over the winter. And then the Indians came and was like, look, okay, I see a bunch of y'all. Y'all just don't know how to do this thing. And they became friends. And then there was this big, like, hey, let's celebrate our friendship. And the Indians just set it all out. And in return, the white people gave them blankets, smallpox, and bullets. So, yeah.
And so, wait, you learned about the smallpox and all of that in school? Or is that what you found out later?
Well, that's what I found out later. I found out later.
Okay,
that,
so my question is, because you tend to go off on your own tangent.
Yeah,
my question was, when you found out, how, you know, what was your reaction when you found out that what you learned was some bullshit?
Oh gosh, when I, you know, because, you know, no one actually told me that it was bullshit. I learned it, I guess, just through error, just by reading. You know, I started to think, and I was like, well, damn, the Indians died from smallpox and bullets in their bodies, and who put them there? The pink people put them there. But damn, didn't they feed those fools? And that's how I found that out. It was through.
Okay, so who are the hell are these pink people that you're talking about?
Pink white people.
Okay, so you're doing racial slurs to a large demographic of our audience.
It is not a racial slur. It is not.
I'm just asking.
Slur. I'm sorry.
I'm
offended. It's not a racial. You're always.
I mean, offended. You know you know that Chan is a quarter and she a half, like chicken.
Oh.
Hey, don't talk crazy, Harrods.
Oh.
All right, and they can't see me on Facebook. They can't see me on YouTube. Y'all not watching me on YouTube. Y'all can see that I got it. I'm running around. I'm throwing my arms up like Rocky. I did it. I can tell you, I found out about Thanksgiving, you know, through school like everybody else, you know, and it was the same pretty much story, same BS they all fed us. And I remember having a conversation with my brother one day. And I think I was maybe 10 years old, and he wrecked my whole understanding. You know what I mean? He was the one who told me it wasn't no damn Santa Claus. He always ruined shit for me. I don't know what's wrong. What the hell wrong with Marcus? But anyway, he was fucking mean, right? But I guess that's what you're supposed to do to your little sister. But we were having a conversation about something, and he wrecked my whole understanding by telling me about what really happened. And I was so distraught. I was like, Mama, tell him not to say that. That's not what happened. She was like, I wish I could, baby, but I can't. I'm like, where did you learn that? Where did you hear that? You know, I want to challenge it, right? Because I don't never believe what people tell me.
Of course.
You know, I think that was one of my awakening moments where it was like, I don't believe what people tell me anymore. I had to go and find out for myself because I believed what the teacher had taught me. And then I had found out that Paul, not Paul. You know what I mean? I really found out my whole entire understanding was a lie. So I always question from that point on. Let me ask this before we get into the meat and potatoes that Andreas keeps trying to jump right on into. I got a question. I have a question for you guys. But before that, for those of you guys who just may be joining us, this is Playing Devil's Advocate. I am your host, Miss KiKi, the consummate provocateur. And today we're talking about thanks but no thanksgiving. And we're talking about why people still celebrate such a holiday, things as a holiday for something that has such a negative backstory to it, and if they really know how offensive it really is. We're talking about our personal experiences of being enlightened and finding out what it was and what it isn't. And if you want to be a part of our conversation, you can give us a call at 347-237-5271. Don't forget to press 1 so we know you're in the queue and you have something you would like to share with us. You can also follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/playing devil's advocate. There you'll be able to click the link and you can watch us on YouTube, where we also have an interactive chat room. You can also send us a tweet at PDA underscore Miss KiKi, right? PDA underscore Miss KiKi. And yeah, you can be a part of the conversation there. There's no reason why you cannot be a part of our conversation here tonight. But the next question that I wanted to ask you guys, now that we know all of these things, we already know, Dino already told us, he's accepting all plates. Even though he's vegan now, he accepted all plates from anybody. Do you have any plans for Thanksgiving? And I'll start with you, Andreas. I'll go to Dino, and then I'll end with Sporty.
Who you starting with me? Okay, starting with me. I do have plans. The company that I work for has me by the short and curlies, so that's where I'll be. I really wanted to be in Atlanta, Sporty and I, but it wasn't in the cards this year. And I'm just hoping maybe next year, maybe Christmas, we could be able to come. We'd be able to come down. But yeah, for the most part, this Thanksgiving I'll be at work. But my daughter's best friend lives here. She goes to law school at UIC, so she'll be with us.
Okay.
For the time.
All right. What about you, Dino?
My boys here at home, about to eat some quinoa, with some kales and corn, some bell peppers and some jalapenos chopped up in it nice with some good diet cheese, and drink some water and play some video games. So that's what we're going to do.
Even though I talked about you being a vegan, that didn't sound so bad. What about you, Sporty?
Well, because my plans to come to Atlanta was upset because Andreas has to work. So what I'm going to do is the next best thing. Check it out. I'm going to make sure that Andreas keeps it in his pants with his daughter's friend.
Please do.
I'm going to.
I'm appalled.
Hi, Paul. Just stop it.
After I do that, I'm going to take him to work, and then you know what's next? There are 3 football games on. I am going to watch football like a motherfucker. And it's about to go down. So I'm watching, I'm calling it as the Bears, the Bengals, and I'm going to say the Patriots. Yeah, that's how I'm going to go with these games. That's what I'm doing. Okay. And I got Tupperware. Fuck cooking.
Well, I think we are all a little miffed that you guys didn't come because y'all waited to the last minute to tell us you weren't coming. But whatever.
It was his job. Yeah.
Whatever. Don't want to hear about his plantation woes. Anyway, Chan and I are actually cooking as we speak. So we're going to do our annual, what we do for Thanksgiving, cook some food, whatever, sit up, chop it up. I'm going to be watching football. And that's pretty much it. But you know what? I don't think it's one of those things where we're actually celebrating Thanksgiving. It's just become a ritual for us in terms of that's what we're going to do on this day. None of us, I know Chan likes to decorate and all that other stuff, but she likes to decorate for Halloween too. So that's just what it is. I don't participate in any of that. I go make my food, make my plate, watch my games, and that's pretty much it. And that's pretty much, something that it reminds me of my memory, since it's a ritual that we pretty much do, is that I remember every Thanksgiving, the Cowboys used to play the Redskins. And so I just remember my mom being a super Dallas Cowboy fan, and my sister having a crush on Drew Pearson, and and unbeknownst to me, isn't it amazing how the universe works? That unbeknownst to me, some 20 some odd years later, so I would then become friends with the son of one of the players on the team or whatever. Who would ever thunk that? Whatever. Anyway, so and then I got a chance to meet Joe Montana, by the way.
Oh,
anyway.
Nice.
Not surprising.
Yes, at the Pro Bowl I did. I got to meet him. I took a picture. I was like, oh, Joe Montana. This man was like, how the hell you know who that is? I'm like, don't worry about it. I know what I know. But anyway, let me get off of my stuff. But yeah, so I think that, now for most people it's just become kind of a ritual more than anything actually celebrating. And I think there's been like a crossover, guys. I don't know if you guys noticed everybody talking about some being thankful. Before it was about the whole Christopher Columbus and the Pilgrims and the Indians and all that other stuff, but somehow it's taken a transition into, a day of gratitude and being thankful for family and love and all the things that have happened. But you know what? Yeah, I can be thankful for all of the things that I have come through, but I cannot say that it would be fair or even a cool thing for me to be dismissive of the fact that this day actually came to pass on the backs of other people, and another nation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kind of like this whole country and it from its inception has been about that. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
You know what? One of the things that seems to kind of bring it all around to me, because now that the truth is somewhat exposed to those who are willing to accept it and believe it, it's that you have the option to, and I know that people say every day is a day of Thanksgiving and you should be thankful every day, yada, yada, yada. You hear all of that. But, just like we set aside that one day for the loves of our lives, even though you should love them every day and blah, 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 you have this day where people actually, decide, let's get the family all together. Let's get all the kids together. Let's do all of this. Let's hang out with our friends while we have this time off from our jobs, some of us. And, do what we can to be together as a family, not necessarily always blood related, but to be together, and it is amazing to me how something like that, and I say so small, and I'll tell you why I say something so small as coming together as a unit for Thanksgiving, people are willing to do that, and it's a no-brainer. They can come together for something like that. They can come together to eat, and they can come together to, have a party and to celebrate, each other, and for at least a couple hours during the Thanksgiving time, because, you always got one Uncle Ray Ray or Aunt Susie that's going to fuck some shit up, but,
why he had to be Ray Ray?
Hours.
Why he had to be Ray Ray?
It could be Lou, Paul, Bobo, whoever it is, somebody, Lenny, all of them with plenty, they going to do something,
Well, let me tell you which uncle of mine always turned up. You want to know what uncle of mine always turned up? The uncle of mine that always turned up, his name was Otha.
Otho?
Yeah.
Like from Beetlejuice, Otho?
Otha, O-T-H-A. May he rest in peace now. But he would always turn shit up. I mean, every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, he would knock over the Christmas tree. It was always him.
Seriously?
He was drunk.
Yes.
Wow.
He would always get turned up. He would always get tipsy and want to drive us home, and then he want to do roll call in the car.
Quit playing.
Yo, he would call all his kids. And listen, you know how right now everybody's like, don't drink and drive. You need to wear your seatbelts. We piled up in there, 6 kids, 9 adults, in this car.
Girl, wasn't at the time.
Nothing.
Everybody got in there in one ride.
With a drunk driver. You know what I mean? And we all made it out in one piece. But anyway, again, cars aren't made like they used to be made, so I'll just move on. I'm sorry, Spunny, you were talking about being thankful.
Who tore up the house for you on Thanksgiving? Who was your problem relative, Dino?
Dino, he was it.
You were.
living that thug life at one point. I think that was a distraction to my young cousins, you know what I mean? So I used to do those gatherings. They all looked up to me because of the clean pants shaking off my blood and all that stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I wasn't like trying to be that to them. I didn't know they looked up to me like that. So that was a bad negative influence bringing to the thing. But I did love to eat, like I said, at the time when I was eating.
Wow. Who was yours, Andres?
You know what? I really couldn't tell you because when I was growing up, we didn't have those conventional Thanksgivings, so I really couldn't tell you.
Well, I will admit, for Sporty, it was me and Shalimar. You know, something would kick off between me and the lovely twin, and I'll never forget. There was this one Thanksgiving. My husband at the time and I went to her house for Thanksgiving, and she decided to do salmon for Thanksgiving. You know, she did a salmon and, you know, some other things, you know, just something different. So we got there and she said something about, well, I cooked dinner, go in there and wash your dishes. You know, I said, you hosting, you know, and I cleared the table or whatever. She's like, I know you don't think you're ready. My husband was ready to go because he had to get ready for work or whatever. And so she said something about me. We got into a big argument. So my retarded ass, I went outside in front of her house and I went and got in the car. I said, I went in the car for her. So I got our son and my husband was in there doing the dishes, bless his heart. And I politely took this finger right here and I placed it on the car horn because I was tired of waiting. And for 20 minutes, I held the car horn in front of her house until he came outside.
That's so ignorant. That's so
and
ignorant.
She said, I was real ignorant. Oh my God, not britches.
I never knew.
That is too funny. Yes, I was evil. I was bad. And Chan said in the chat room she didn't have a problem with Thanksgiving. She always wondered if the Native Americans regretted their decision to help the people on the boats.
Well, you know what? We're going to talk about that in just a sec. We're going to talk about that in just a second. It says, I'm going to read some of the other stuff. It says, some of the pink people revel in the people they have killed and the cultures they have decimated. And Keith Chalmers said that one of his memories are family and food. I do think that some people relish in that, but, you know, the sad part about it is that there are some people whose history is all about rape, robbing, and pillaging. So that's all they have as their legacy. So we tend to hold on to those things that we have as our legacy. So I know somebody who has a legacy. I know somebody said they had a question.
Go to where?
They do what now?
I said, did the Native Americans go to the government to ask, like, this is not good to represent Thanksgiving to us? Did they change that change? Maybe you said that change went from the Pilgrim and the Plymouth Rock and all that, and then it went to more commercial. Right. What was the change? Did the Native American pass?
I don't know if it was, and then because here's the thing, I don't think they have enough power to do anything. They can't even get the Washington Redskins to change their name. But we'll get into that a little bit deeper. But right now we're gonna go into our drink of the week because we have to because. Oh my goodness, Chan put it down. I'm always ranting and raving. Let me get my Periscope
I was curious.
up.
Yes, let's get to scoping this
because I'm so curious about this drink. I got the Periscope up, y'all. I have the Periscope up, and I always rant and rave about our producer's drink of the week. What's up, Just for Marley? And this week is no different. She actually put some stank on this drink. I'm just saying. I'm going to let her tell you about it, but I need to, I'm going to let you look at me while she talks about it, then I'm going to show you the drink. Lord. Baby, she put her stank on this one. I don't know. I might have to show y'all while she describing it.
Woo, I think I'm ready.
Oh, hush. Everybody hush your face so you don't miss this.
Hey everybody, tonight's drink of the week is a caramel apple martini. All right, tonight's drink, we're going to use 2 ounces of apple cider, 2 ounces of a caramel vodka, 1 ounce of butterscotch schnapps, a slice of fresh apple, some caramel syrup, and some brown sugar. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to pour the apple cider, caramel vodka, and butterscotch schnapps in a cocktail shaker filled with ice. Shake vigorously, then pour the mixture into a chilled martini glass, rimmed with the caramel and the brown sugar. Then garnish with the apple slice. And there you have it, a caramel apple martini. All right, guys, be safe, enjoy, drink responsibly. I'll see you next week.
That is so wrong on so many levels, y'all. I mean, like, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? That drink was off the chain. I mean,
Yes.
whew, my goodness, that looked good. I don't even drink that stuff, but all right, enough of you, Cousin Chan. I have first of all, she did the damn thing with the drink of the week, and I'm so mad at her, but I can't be. It says you would have had one if you were here, Sporty. That's what we're saying on the
So sweet.
the Periscope. I also want to wish Cousin Chan a happy birthday. She celebrated her birthday on Monday, and we didn't say anything at the top of the show. He said he was drunk listening. And I have to wish her a happy birthday. I'm going to do it live here on Periscope. Huh?
Happy birthday, Chan.
Happy birthday, Chan. I got to play her some music, y'all. Y'all know how I do. I always got to play a song. Yes. I always got to play a song.
Everybody in the club getting tipsy.
Woo.
Yes. Yeah.
That girl. What up, Jermaine, Mickey on Periscope? Just want to say big shout out to all of you guys. That's right. That's the big K on my neck. We just finished our drink of the week by our producer, Cousin Chan. We just wished her a happy birthday, so go show her some love at The Original Truth on Periscope, also on Twitter, or you can check out Cousin Chan on Instagram and Facebook. For those of you guys on Periscope, we're about to go back to our show, Thanks But No Thanks Given, on Blog Talk Radio. Tonight, we're talking about the BS known as Thanksgiving, how it came to pass, and how we've been led astray, run amok in terms of what Thanksgiving is all about. We are going to come back to Periscope in about an hour, and we'll do our Ask PDA letter, and I can't wait to do that one as well. Thank you so very much, Mac357, and everybody, Stevie Steve 171. All big shouts out to you guys for joining us on Periscope. I'm getting ready to go back to do my show, so if you want to be a part of our conversation, you can go to www.blogtalkradio.com/PDA, or you can go to facebook.com/Playing Devil's Advocate. Click the link and watch us streaming live on YouTube so you don't miss anything. I put on makeup for y'all today. All right? See y'all.
Indeed you did.
Yes, I did. Hater. Hater. And speaking of, what is he saying? What is he over there saying?
I was the hook. I was giving you the hook for the chorus.
Oh, okay. I'll do it again. Haters.
I'm not talking to him.
Haters.
He broke my bet ball. I'm not talking to him.
He's so destructo. He's so destructo. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to get into the meat and potatoes of this conversation in terms of what Thanksgiving is, where it came to pass. We're going to talk about who actually lobbied to make this shit a holiday. And a whole bunch of things. But before I do any of that, I will be remiss in my duties and not allowing actual indigenous people from this country to speak. There was this video that Cousin Chan shared with me. There were a couple, they did a word association game with some Native Americans, right? And they asked them, what would they say in one word describing Christopher Columbus? And it's, Andreas, I can see you. And it's going to be interesting, guys. It's a little bit painful to listen to, but I think it's important that people actually can put put it in context of who it actually hurts, right? We don't know any Pilgrims, right? So it doesn't really matter in terms of that, but we all know people who are indigenous to this country as in terms of Native Americans, and show them enough respect to let them speak their voice in terms of what happened to their people. We're always, as black people, talking about what happened to us, right? The Jewish people are always talking about what happened to them. And so I want to give, our Native Americans, by playing this actual clip of that word association that they did with them. So I'm going to go ahead and mute you guys so everybody can hear what they had to say.
Invader. He got lost coming here, and he's the one that named us Indians because he thought he was in India. So he's not a good figure to the Native community.
Compare? I don't think we should have a holiday for it. Pain. Meaning North America is just like land that could be claimed and could be taken. The start of a lot of pain. I guess ignorance.
Murder, racist, genocide. The atrocities committed disinflict. And the scars are still felt today.
Evil. Evil.
Fuck yeah. Fuck Yolanda.
Fuck Christopher Columbus.
That's a big fuck you. He's the first terrorist in America, that's for sure. According to the U.S. government law, they say if you partake in somebody that's stealing, you get yourself guilty. Well, everybody knows the United States is stolen. So therefore, all those that are original, that knows about the genocide, the rape, the murder, the theft, the putting on the reservations on the rock that they couldn't survive on, they're going to have to face judgment.
Murderers, rapists. It always was weird to me to have that day off in celebration of somebody. Like, we don't have a day for Hitler, but it's the same thing.
Like, there's so many other people that Italian Americans or Italians can hold up as their heroes besides Columbus. Fake.
Fake.
Wow.
They teach us that Christopher Columbus discovered America.
What? So you don't have a day for Hitler. That's fucked up.
But Christopher Columbus didn't discover anything, and instead got lost.
Powerful, huh?
Wow. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, extremely.
I think
But
what
truthful.
really,
You think what?
what really hit it was when he said you don't have a day for Hitler, and that's pretty deep.
Yes, you do. It's my
to hear
birthday.
from
No,
that
I'm just kidding.
perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you guys, it was a
that's
poor
an
taste
interesting
joke, but they
perspective.
call me Little Hitler, so that's what I meant. Yeah,
Oh, no, because
it
that's
was.
not a joke. You are a little Hitler.
I was being
Watch your
serious.
mouth.
I wasn't joking.
They said that it was just. Let's stay on task. It's very powerful. To hear the people who it affected most, hear what they had to say about it. A lot of people don't want to get with it and understand that. Here's the thing. Christopher Columbus and all of his cohorts were hired to come and find this place, to go find some other place. They actually got lost, like they said, and ended up here. And then they decided to settle here, right? And then the way that they went about it was, the Indians being, well, I shouldn't even call them Indians because that's freaking offensive in and of itself. The natives who were here, were minding their own business and were being nice and helping, like you said. I know they regret the day they went to go help the motherfuckers on the boats. Nothing good ever comes on boats. That's why I don't take cruises. Nothing ever good happens on boats. Slavery, the Titanic. You know what I'm saying? Nothing ever good comes from fucking boats. I'm cool.
KiKi, are you serious?
What?
That's why you will not go on a cruise?
No, I don't go on cruises because I don't know how to swim and I ain't never been that thirsty to drink all that damn water if the motherfucker go down. So, with that being said, I stay my ass on the ground where I'm supposed to be. I ain't supposed to be on water. Fish supposed to be in water.
Oh, Lord.
You know I fly.
Oh, she a jet setter now.
I'm supposed to be in the air. I'm a starer.
Twinkle on, boo-boo, twinkle, twinkle.
Anyway, stay focused. So, you know, in terms of that, they come in, you know, they welcome them into their land. They provide them with things, you know, so that they can survive because it was too fucking cold because they were not prepared, you know, to deal with the cold. So they provide them with warmth, right? And how to, you know, build fires and a place to stay, and got in business with these mofos. And people think Thanksgiving dinner is actually something to celebrate. We were lied to and told that the Indians sat down. And here's the thing. There's a little discrepancy on the timeline in terms of when this dinner took place. Some historians say that the Indians sat down and had dinner with the Pilgrims, and then afterwards the Pilgrims then pillaged the joint, right? But then there are some historians who will say that after the Pilgrims came in, and after the Pilgrims came in, and some of the other settlers of the other areas that were there, that they had already demolished and went through and, you know, killed people off and done all that other stuff. When the natives would, and some of the stronger native tribes would not say, you know what, we're going to let y'all rule us. And, you know, they got into a war. After they actually had the war and ended up losing the war is when they had that Thanksgiving feast to give thanks that they have now had this new land. I'm more inclined to believe that version because I can't see why they would sit down, have dinner with these folks, and then, you know, I can see why they would fight for their place, and then these mofos, as dirty as they are, would then go and destroy them. I mean, you give them smallpox, you give them all kinds of diseases, and, you know what I mean? You kill them off, and then you celebrate, because that's just how brutish, you know, the English was, and the, you know, the Italians and the Spanish at that time. That's just how brutal they were. So it doesn't shock me that they would celebrate something so heinous. It's so cold and heartless. I mean, think about what they did to slaves. Why wouldn't they do that?
Think about what they did to everyone. Think about what they just do. I'm sorry, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. That's a whole nother show. So sorry about that.
But one of the biggest things that, you know, really, you know, when you delve into this to see how, you know, when you were talking about lobbying to make Thanksgiving a holiday, and how this, you know, Sarah Hale decided she was going to be the person to lobby. This woman went through 5 different presidencies, you know, to get Thanksgiving declared as a holiday. And, you know, she is, you know, she's being made famous for that. You know what I'm saying? And it's famous based on the lie that is premise that it's supposed to be a family-oriented celebration, and it's not the truth, you know.
But it is. It is a family-oriented celebration for the people who raped, robbed, and pillaged. It was their family. I mean, you know, it's not about the destruction. They put a spin on it, honey. That was the spin. Right? Because it wasn't about the destruction of other families and the other culture that stood there. It's about what you did and you celebrating your win over that.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is
true.
It's crazy to me to think about the fact that these people who are so, I mean, they are, oh my God, they did things like when they won the war, after they beheaded some of the natives, they kicked their heads around like soccer balls.
Yep.
To sell, you know, like
And
it was
that's
a game.
Oh.
How sick is that you would kick another human's head around after beheading them like it's a game, right? I mean, you betrayed them.
It is bad.
Killed them by disease, basically germ warfare, right? You hunted them for bounties, kind of like they did with us, right? And then you pushed them out of their homeland, out of where they go. And then, you know, now we call them reservations. Really?
But you know what, KiKi? One of the biggest things, you know, and someone said this to me when they asked about, you know, why we were doing this show, you know, and, you know, I said, you know, it's definitely an opportunity because people are so pro Black or pro African American or whatever it is you want to call us, you know, they're so into what's happening to us and what's this. This gives people an opportunity to really see. If you want to take a look at what it's like to degrade a race of people and treat them like shit and, you know, disrespect their heritage and see what happened to their ancestors and how they're looking and be a person that's on the outside looking in to what it is they're experiencing because you don't know what it is to be that Native American person. Look at what's done to them. Look at what this has done to them, and they have nothing. They don't have any, you know, reparations or you know, things where people can, let me get this back because this is what you did to us and to our race of people. You know, we can't take Thanksgiving off the calendar. You know, you don't get Native American month. You know, so it's like
they do,
you know,
have they do have a month. We're the only ones with the little teeny tiny month, but they do have Native American Heritage Month. I'll look it up to tell you which one it is.
But see,
when it is.
Here's the thing. I don't know that.
I've never heard of it.
Would you say, Dino?
You follow?
Okay. But see, how would I know that? And why? And
because they don't publicize
why
it.
would it
you know,
be my concern?
But here's the irony of it. Here's the irony of it. Their month is actually November.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Now
that's the irony of it. But here's what's.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna
say. Here's the thing about that.
My colorful word is that it's fucked up. Go ahead.
But here's the thing about it. You don't know about it because they don't have a voice loud enough to bark about it, right? You know, Black people always want to talk about their struggle and this, that, and the other, yet you have the shortest damn month of the year, and first you only had a day, then you had a week, then it became the shortest month, then it was like, fine, we'll give you a month, but you can only have the smallest one. Right? But here again, it was only because we made a stink about it, right? They didn't have the voice that we have because guess what? We want to talk about the fact that we were enslaved in a lot of ways. They still are. You know, they in the grand scheme of things, the natives, the people that are indigenous to this area have the highest rates of depression and suicide due to historical trauma, right? You know, how my dad used to joke about it, you know, about not being able to drink, that he wasn't a drinker because he was like, you know, and I didn't realize until much older that what he was saying was actually offensive. He was like, yeah, I'm like an Indian with some moonshine or something he used to say. And we all know, because, you know how when they would drink, you know, they get a little, everybody ain't supposed to drink, right? Because that was poison. It's the reason why they call it spirits, right? It's the reason why alcohol is called spirits, because it was not something that the indigenous people of this land would partake in.
You're supposed to
right?
do, yeah.
Right. So if you notice, even on the reservations that we have set aside for them, right? We set aside some shit for them on some shit that was theirs, whatever, right?
Right. Hello.
And I shouldn't even say we, because we don't own shit. We don't have shit. But again, they have the highest domestic violence rates, suicide rates, DUIs, alcohol-related arrests, than in comparison to the regular rest of the country.
Interesting.
Because that pain runs so deep. Can you imagine living in your house but not living in your house? You know what I'm saying? You had a house, like now. Say you had a house and you let somebody come visit your goddamn house and they squat in your shit, take over, and then put you out in the goddamn shed in the back. You know what I'm saying?
What's that
Could
like,
you imagine?
Andres?
Oh, wow. You living in the shed in your own house, they done took over your shit?
Yes. No. No, it's we're just, I think honestly we're just getting used to, we're just starting to get used to each other.
Ain't nothing to get used to. Don't nobody come over your house and bring that craziness in your house. That ain't nothing to get used to. It's not a matter of used to. But here's the thing. It's a matter of respect. And what I'm saying to you is the lack of respect that those people are showing to your home is the same, is tantamount to the lack of respect that the Pilgrims had coming over into this land. You can't come into somebody else's shit and take over. Crickets.
I just lost my train of thought. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
Because it was about to derail. It was about to derail real fast. Yeah, but you know, I think that it's important that, you know, we learn from, you know, they say those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. We didn't learn from the history of what happened to the natives that were here.
Right.
True.
You know, you know, I understand that people come to other lands and they have to, you know, protect their lands, but those weren't the type of people that lived here. That's not the nature of their culture. You know, their culture is about the land, the universe, the earth, and everything that's, you know, peaceful and balanced and this, that, and the other. And when those people decided to dock ship, they brought everything opposite of what their world was accustomed to.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be, I mean, I think there's a lesson to be learned for all of us is you got to be careful. I say this as a coach. You have to be careful who you let in your house, so to speak. My mom used to say to me all the time, if you keep your house clean, you got to worry about no mess. I didn't get what she meant until later on. You know, everybody ain't welcome to come in your house. That's why we sage up in this mofo, because whatever residue, because people leave residue on you, right? Because we talk about energy. We talked about that on our other show. But they brought all that negative energy over here and totally pushed and displaced these people. You heard them say fake, confused, rapist, thief, you know, all of those things. That's what those people brought. And that was the basis, the premise by which this country has been built. And how can you celebrate that?
Well, like you said earlier, you know, how you celebrate it, well, how they celebrate it, you know, because I can't even begin to say I would celebrate, you know, the total destruction of a person's, you know, a place where they're being human, you know, and it's just I don't understand how you can not realize that they're celebrating their victory, like you just said. It's a celebration for them. So that celebration doesn't include everybody.
And we're celebrating what? Our ignorance?
It's a private party for the most part.
So it's a private party that we somehow just... No, we celebrate due to our ignorance. They're not celebrating our ignorance. We celebrate due to our ignorance.
So that was just saying, we celebrate due to our ignorance.
But you have to think about black people in terms of this, and I think you were kind of leading there, and earlier in some of the things that you had, you know, sent to me or whatever, is that as black people, we celebrated Thanksgiving because our masters celebrated Thanksgiving. Well, they had every right because they're the ones who raped, robbed, and pillaged to be here to do this.
Right.
And they did the same thing to us to get us here. So we then, in turn, with our slave mentality, we then celebrated what they celebrated. But we passed it
Which
on
is what we
to
were
our kids.
conditioned to do.
And exactly. We passed it on to our kids and their kids' kids and their kids' kids and so on and so forth. But it's like, this ain't shit to celebrate.
Herein lies that word in my air quotes, tradition. You know, that's when it becomes a family tradition. But that's also when people broke it off into their own, you know, because while Master is in the house celebrating, this is what we did to them, you know, we're celebrating, thank God we're all here together, and let's celebrate the fact that we can be a family, that we can be a unit, that we can be in, you know, one place and be grateful, you know, that what we do have is a blessing. You know, so and I get, you know, why some people think that way about the holiday, because some people are really passionate. You know, I was talking to other people today, like, well, why are so many people so angry that and so anti-Thanksgiving because of the history of Thanksgiving? Why don't they just understand it's a celebration of family and a celebration of togetherness? Well, that's your version of it, you know, but if you're not the person that it was, you're on the outside of the Native American culture looking in. And just like nobody can say to Native Americans, to African Americans, you know, well, why are you so hung up on somebody calling you the N-word? You know, what's wrong with it? It's just a word. Why would you be mad about it? You know, nobody's beating you now with a whip and calling you the N-word, so why are you so upset? You know, but you still did this to people. You know, you still, the history of it is still there.
Right. You haven't. Here's the issue with this. You have yet to atone for the things that you have done to those people.
Right. Right.
You know, them and us. You know what I'm saying? You have yet to atone. And I don't want to make this about black people, because it's not about us.
No, it's not. Right.
It's part and parcel of how we got to where we are and what we didn't learn. Right. But the Americans, so to speak, have never atoned to the natives what they've done. You know, the interesting thing is that they're working so hard right now in this political climate about this quote-unquote immigration bill, but what you're trying to do is keep Mexicans out. You're not keeping the Haitian, you know what I mean? You're not keeping the English out. You're not keeping the French out. You're not keeping the Canadians out. You're not interested in keeping it. You see what I'm saying? You want to keep the Mexicans out. Problem is, this was their shit, because their heritage is that of the indigenous of this land. This was their shit.
But see, here's the other thing
and push
too.
them out.
Exactly. But see, here's the other thing too, KiKi. You know, we have so many problems with borders and immigration and stuff like that. You know, of course, they call us this great melting pot. So everybody comes here. You have your Russians. You have your Jewish people. You have your, people from Berlin and, Haitians, Africans, whatever. They're all coming to America, supposedly the land of the free. And it's really not the land of the free. You know, you come here under all of these conditions and rules and, to become Americanized and taking oaths to become an American citizen. And what's done over here in this country, people don't realize what all these other countries sit back and look at. Look at these Americans. They're cocky. They think they're the best things in the world, and this is what they do. But if you go over here to Russia, all Russia has to deal with is Mother Russia and their people. You know what I'm saying? You did this to the Jewish people, but they have I can't say I know what it is to deal with the Holocaust, because I'm not from that. And I'm not trying to, go down a different tube, but I just want to bring it to, there's more than just one. Everybody has their story, and everybody has their way of coming out with it,
But here's my
that's
problem.
why people need to understand.
But here's my problem with all of this. The Mexicans, so to speak, this was their land. And you're trying to build fences and borders to keep them out of a land you pushed them out of. Ain't no fucking borders that y'all are doing to keep the fucking Canadians out of here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You
so
got
it's
them
like,
on Border Patrol.
you know what I'm saying? You're sitting up here trying to keep people out of their own place, their own fucking land. But let's put this in further historical context. These fucking pilgrims and these early settlers that were here, you motherfuckers were sent away from where y'all came from. They sent you motherfuckers away. So you came over here and you want to talk about Haitians and you want to even talk about the people down in New Orleans that called them fucking refugees. No, you motherfuckers were refugees. And then you want to come here and keep the people who belong here out.
Exactly.
But we're going to celebrate every fucking year? Talk about Happy Thanksgiving? What's so fucking happy about it?
Exactly.
I think that
Dino, you've been kind of quiet. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Andreas, and then Dino. No, go ahead, Andreas, and then Dino.
I think with a lot of people that it just they're just giving thanks that, you know, just giving thanks that there's a reason that the family is able to come together and be together for at least a few hours out of the year. Have a reason to do that, maybe. You know, maybe there's a silver lining there.
Yeah, but that has been what it's become. You know, that's what people, those are the way, let me use this word, rational lies that we tell ourselves. That's how we rationalize stuff. Rational lies. That's the shit we say to ourselves to make ourselves feel better about the fact that we're celebrating some shit that was atrocious and it was a fucking shit stain on the history of this country. But I'll let Dino speak.
So at the same time, I'm like, hey, you hit it all on the head. Like, $225,000.
Well, all right, 225,000%. Can I get those in dollars, please?
Okay, I like change that percentage to a dollar sign. Ching, ching.
Nah, I get it. No, but it's asinine to me that we will sit here and convince ourselves that, oh, no, we're doing it because we're being thankful that we got family and friends and we have so many things to be grateful for. Really? That's what that's what you say to yourself so you can sleep at night? Andreas, you stupid. I mean, I think it's time that we actually wake up and realize. I mean, I used to get pissed off that when we were in grammar school, and all of us are from Chicago, and we call it grammar school, not elementary. When we were in grammar school, right? I never understood after that age 10, when Marcus just fucked up my understanding, why we even had Columbus Day off. That's not something that's celebrated across the country where people actually, it's a national holiday, but not all the kids get out of school. How the fuck did that shit become a national holiday? Don't understand that shit. You know, motherfuckers had to fight to get Martin Luther King to be a national holiday, but they don't celebrate it in Arizona. Your ass still gonna have to go to work. You know what I'm saying?
Hello.
But Christopher Columbus, really a motherfucker who couldn't tell north from south and east from west, that ended up here on accident? Really? That's the motherfucker you want to celebrate? Lost and turned out?
Girl.
Not cool. Not cool. Not cool at all. Am I the only one that's on a rampage about this?
No, you're not. You're not. You know, and here's the thing. Here's what else I will say. You know, what really just kind of did a click for me, or like an aha moment, was when you just said, you know, is that what makes you sleep at night? And Andrea said, but that is the attitude most people have taken, and it's not that they don't want to know the truth, or that they don't know the truth. It's that they don't want to accept it as that. They don't want to deal with, you know, the repercussions of saying, you know, fuck Thanksgiving. You know, I don't want to be bothered with that bullshit. I just want this day off from work. I want to enjoy my family, cook some food, and I don't care about the history. I don't care about this. But then it goes back to, they don't care about understanding the history of it or knowing the history of it because it doesn't directly affect them. It hasn't done anything to affect them. And I don't mean just black people as a race. I mean anybody other than those that it really directly affects and that it really bothers or that it really upsets. You know,
Right.
that's where the problem comes in to me. And that's where I think people have a problem with understanding that.
Let me read some of the stuff that's come up in our chat room. Cousin Chan said, well, shit, because someone, Keith said there are only like 350 Native Americans left. They've been effectively wiped out. And she said, it's a little more than 350 natives left. It's about 5 million. I'm like, same damn thing. It's pretty much ethnic cleansing. And then she says, well, shit, only 41 million of us. There's only 41 million of us, so they've worked very hard to get back in the millions because they were almost wiped off the face of the earth. And the Mexican is slowly taking their country back while they make up 36 million in the United States. And then Big West said, thank you so much. Every time I address this, I look like the bad guy. Glad that I'm not alone and feel this way. And then a newbie, a rookie, Dungeon Podcast says, what they did was wrong for sure. Was so long ago, I think of the now and love all regardless of race, color, or creed. And they said, I said, just because it was a long time ago doesn't mean that it should not be addressed or atoned for. And then he says, I'm assuming it's a he, but it can't be changed and those people are gone. So peace and love must come into our generation. Here's the thing. If we were to, and I'm just going to make the parallel again. I don't want to make this about black people. Let's just make the parallel here. The person who lynched Emmett Till ain't here no more. Does that mean I need to just be like, oh, that was so long ago? No. The person who brought the first crop of slaves over isn't here anymore. Should I just be like, oh, well, that was so long ago and they dead, so let's just move on? No. Only people who that doesn't necessarily, like you said, if you have no emotional attachment or some historical attachment to it, is it easy to say, yeah, that was a while ago, let's just move on? We have to address the pain. We have to address the hurt. We have to address all of those things. People have to atone for those things and change in order for people to be able to move on. If my dude cheat on me, right, and beats me, until he does right by me, I'm not going to be able to move on. And even if that doing right by me means leaving me the hell alone, right?
Exactly.
Then, you know, I mean, I can use my own self as an example. When we talk about my ex-fiance, you know, we had our turmoils and all that other stuff, and then the mofo, you know, stalked me 3.5 years afterwards. Was I over that? The relationship? Yeah. But was that experience not traumatic? Absolutely it was. But that man had to atone for it. I came to my healing in my own way, right? But once he atoned for that with me, we were able to be friends again. You can't just sweep it under the rug and be like, oh, that was so long ago, let's forget about it. No, because you keep sweeping shit under the rug, somebody going to trip over that lump of shit under the rug. Or that shit under the rug is going to start to stink. And right now, it's stinking. That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
Hell no. People are gonna not even buy anything on Black Friday. So how the hell? But no, see, I'm. This is an analogy. I'm giving you an analogy. I mean, why do people aren't gonna even not spend any money on Black Friday? Why the hell would they want to give up their paid day off?
What makes you think they're not gonna stop doing that?
Chan is talking. Go ahead, Chan.
We want to talk about how much is bad and how much we shouldn't do this and we shouldn't do that, but yet we're not willing to give up the perk that comes behind it.
Yeah,
and Thanksgiving definitely has a perk that comes behind it. Now, when we're ready to give up that perk, then people will start to take notice. Until then, we're not going to be ready. We're not ready to give up that perk.
I will give up that.
Me too.
Well,
okay, well, I mean,
it takes one person to start the movement.
But like I said, right, and then here's the thing, Cousin Chan, we always try to talk about solutions. We always talk about how do we resolve, what's the takeaway, and that's the takeaway, That's the question that people should ask themselves. Who's willing to sacrifice this whole thing in order to be able to get the conversation started, or not just started, but actually action to go along with the words, You know, I'm a strong proponent for, you know, saying that actions don't speak louder than words. I'm always the one who say that when your words and your actions are consistent, there's a level of deception there. So if you just saying it and not doing anything about it, then absolutely, then you need to check yourself. And so we all need to take a moment and pause and say, okay, what are we willing to give up? Because again, it's not a sacrifice until it hurts.
True.
Right?
True.
You know, giving up a hamburger don't mean shit to Dino if he's been a vegan for 15 years. Not that he has been, but for somebody, that's not a sacrifice for him to give up beef if you're a vegan. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it
Right.
just shows for him to have decided to make the lifestyle change to now become a vegan, it took something for him to give up that, you know, so there was a level of pain. And I don't think that this country or these people, a lot of us, are willing to give up anything. Because I don't think we really strongly believe in anything. And the reason why I say that is because we always have the conversation about most people don't even know why they believe what the fuck they believe anyway. So if you don't even know why you believe what you believe, how can you believe strongly in it and stand by it and make a sacrifice for it? Go ahead, Sporty.
But see, and when you say that, KiKi, my problem with that is you have different people who will stand up and make a point and make a voice and, you know, do their best to be that person that makes the change, you know, and then you have all the other people who want what it is we're asking, you know, what Chan just said, you know, give up your day off, give up your Black Friday shopping, give up all of these things that will actually put a hurt where it counts, you know. But then when you say this, and I mean, this has been said publicly, this has been said on bigger platforms and mediums, but people don't follow.
Isn't that bigger than this?
No, well, I don't mean. Yes, boss.
Your day off from your job, you can't just say, okay, I want to work on my day off because the job is closed. So what can you do on the other hand is help Native Americans do this process. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the day off. They make you take the day off. There's something else you can do to help the cause of Native Americans, irrespective.
Some people actually get this day off. So, go ahead, Chan.
I'm sorry, what you do is if you don't want to celebrate it, even though your job is, you know, making you have that day off, you don't contribute to the cause. You don't continue to go out and buy turkeys, and you don't continue to, you know, make these food companies more profitable by buying into the bullshit. That's what you do. Even if you don't never see a Native American, if you want some change, you gotta be something.
And you did make a very good point. One of the best ways to get people in this country, because we do live in a capitalist society, the best way you get somebody's attention is to get in their pocket. You can smack their mama.
This is true.
You can mistreat their daughters. You can, you know what I mean? There's a lot of shit you can do. But when you start fucking with their money, that's when you get their attention.
They ain't gonna do it.
Black Friday.
What repercussions? Well, there's repercussions, but I think the messing with somebody's money is the repercussion from said act to begin with. You know what I mean? I think the catalyst, you know, the messing with somebody's money is a byproduct of something else. And if I've gotten to that point, it's kind of like one of those things where if I've said to you, don't do X, Y, and Z, don't do X, Y, and Z, I don't like it, it hurts my feelings, it's painful, it's this, it's that, whatever, and you haven't listened to my words, and then I do little things, and you didn't, you know, you didn't acknowledge those little things until I finally flip out on your ass is when you finally get it. Like Chan says, you know, everything is fun and games until I go thermonuclear, right? when the police got to be called and folks got to go to the hospital and shit like that, right? That's not everybody want to listen. What you say, Dino?
People start shooting guns in the air.
Yeah, whatever the case, you know. But when you go that far, when you have to go to that far extreme, that's when people start to pay attention to what you were saying. You know, you got to get people where it hurts. You know, again, without any pain, there's no change.
This
And
is
that's
true.
with
There is no
everything.
change. You are correct.
You know,
But
I mean,
people
think
have to
about it.
really be willing to step out there, you know, with it. It's like one thing, you know, like Jan just said, okay, this is what we need to do. So now, if all four of us don't step out and do it, then, you know, we've just left her twisting in the wind on her platform by herself. You know what I'm saying? And that's what America does. They leave, you know, they push these people, you go be the voice. You can do it. We support you. We believe in you. And then they go out there and they become the voice, and then crickets. Well, where are all these people who are behind me and supporting me to do this great, marvelous thing? And I'm like, well,
It's Black Friday.
what the fuck? You
It's
know?
kind of like
And
what I
that's,
told y'all, Bernie. It's kind of one of those things that I told you, one of the Macisms that Bernie instilled in me a while ago. He was like, you know, people won't help you build shit, but they're damn sure help you tear it down.
tear it down.
You know,
Yeah.
if you called all your friends up and said, you know what, I'm building a house on Saturday and we're gonna have a party afterwards to celebrate it. Nobody's gonna show up for to help you build that motherfucker, but they all gonna be there ready to party
Come to that
when it's
party.
all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind. One of our, you know, actually he's cruising for our repeat offender of the year this year. Wes said, you know, this is kind of an example when we talk about standing up. This is an example of what happened at Mizzou. Absolutely. Yep. That guy made a stand and said, you know what? I'm tired of this BS here on this campus, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on a hunger strike. And I'm not going to eat until this motherfucker lose his job. Because his inaction is tantamount to condoning the behavior that is happening here. And so either I'm going to die or he going to go. One of the two. And when the football teams and the student union and everybody decided, you know what, we're not going to let this boy die for this man when he's absolutely right in what he's asking. And so when the football team said, we're not practicing, we not playing, we not doing shit. That, you know what that said to Mizzou? We're about to hit you in your pocket. We not showing up for media day. Y'all gonna lose that money. We're not showing up to game and practice, so you're gonna lose all of that sponsorship money for any TV that we were gonna do or any of that advertising that was gonna be up on the banners and all this other shit. Cause ain't nobody gonna be there to see it. Cause we ain't nobody there to play. And it put them in a position where they had to say, see you, you know. They resigned, but the resignation didn't really mean anything because it was forthcoming anyway. Because at that point, it was like, okay, are we going to let you cost us? No. Somebody, what Kevin Hart said, somebody had to go.
Right. Somebody's got to be the scapegoat. Somebody it's got to do something to make it stop, because we got to get our finances back in order now, because now you're messing with the money. And that's really what the bottom line is. It's about the money. What'd you say, Dino?
Dungeon Podcast was said in our Dungeon Podcast in our chat, in our YouTube chat, says it's turned into more than what it was. It's turned into me being thankful of my family and friends and the love of seeing them all. It's not all about the Pilgrims for me. And I don't think that it should be all about the Pilgrims. What I'm saying is that there has to be some recognition for that. And again, we spoke about this earlier in the show, Dungeon Podcast, so when we were talking about the fact that there was a transition when things became more politically correct. Because in the beginning, and I don't know how old you are, all we did was talk about, you know, the Pilgrims and this and that and Thanksgiving dinner. We weren't talking about being thankful and being grateful and being, you know, all of these things in terms of our families and all of that. We were not talking about that. But in light of this society that we live in that's politically correct, of course we have to now shift the focus. And that's fine if we're shifting the focus to something that's positive. However, we cannot forget. Again, if you forget, or those who do not remember the past are doomed to repeat it. And so we have to pass these things along so people are aware so that it doesn't happen again. Because it can very well happen again.
Again.
You know.
You are correct. But
he's giving you a hug. He wants to give you a hug.
I know, and that's the sweetest thing. I'm sending him a hug too. Thank you so much, darling. That is really nice of you.
Let me see here. We're going to go into our letter in just a minute, but I want to make sure I'm checking all of our areas of communication because, again, we are hugely interactive. We have our facebook.com/playing devil's advocate where you can post comments. We'll get them on the air. You can click the link and watch us live on YouTube via Google Hangouts, or you can tweet us at PDA_Miss Kiki. And you can even give us a call right here at 347-237-5271, and we'll be more than happy to talk to you, child. You know, we see people tweeting and talking and all that stuff, but we want to talk to y'all sometimes, too. We want to hear your voices. We don't care about your names. We just, sometimes want to hear your voice. So,
right, give us a call.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead, Andrea Sporty. One of y'all has something to say?
Well, one thing that I was going to say about Thanksgiving, and it's something that people might not know, but did you know, Kiki, you probably knew, but the first football Thanksgiving game tradition was Yale versus Princeton in 1876?
I didn't know the year, but I did know it was Yale and Princeton.
Oh, okay. I knew you knew something, but it was 1876. So, I had to give my sporty part of the show, so, it's all because it's all about football for me tomorrow. I'm super excited. Can you tell?
Yeah, a lot of people are excited. I told y'all from the beginning, it was always about football for me.
And that's what I got excited about. Sitting around watching my uncles and brothers and my dad and stuff. Yeah, go ahead, girl. Did you have a moment?
I was doing the nay-nay.
Yes,
I can only do it sitting down. I can only do it sitting down. Don't ever get me to stand up to do the nay-nay.
You're kidding, right?
I've never seen it done.
Okay, this tonight is not the night you're going to learn. You're going to see it.
Ooh,
I've never seen it done.
Girl, I'm not even finna fool with this one sitting next to me tonight. Quit playing. And the other thing that I was also going to say, I don't want people to take, the one thing I don't want people to take away from this, Kiki, is that we're saying don't enjoy your families or the time that you spend with them or being grateful and thankful for them, but also be educated about what it really is about. That really makes a difference. Don't, because I'm getting messages in my phone, why you being a Thanksgiving hater and, you're a Christian and you go to church. They ain't got shit to do with me going to church.
Wait, but what the hell does Christianity have to do with fucking Thanksgiving?
Nothing.
The Pilgrims were not Christians.
No,
religion is a form of control.
We know that, and that's a whole nother conversation. Right. We know that, and that's a whole nother conversation. But what kills me is that people always want to throw these fucking red herrings out there to just deflect from the conversation. You being a Christian has absolutely jack diddly to do with the nature of this conversation. It doesn't make you a Thanksgiving hater. It makes you an educated, evolved person who is not a sheeple who just follows along because somebody told them that's what they're supposed to do. You actually question and you understand why you do the things that you do when most of you people don't. You just follow along. Even you church people who are Christians refer to yourself as sheep. So if you refer to yourself as sheep, I don't trust you because that makes you dumb as hell. Because sheep are dumb as hell. They'll follow anybody and anything. So I don't fuck with you like that. Don't come fucking with me like that. Anyway.
Ooh, that made me think of Chan's song. I don't fuck with you.
Wes said in the chat, it's so true. In school, it was all about the Pilgrims and their friendship with the Indians. Every year, we were forced to do a silly play about that nonsense. And yes, we did. We were all forced to do that. And I don't think I was ever an Indian. Was I ever an Indian? I'm sorry, a Native American. I don't think I ever participated in those. And we did all kinds
I was a Indian because I had my hair was in them damn plaits, so it was easy to stick that construction paper banner around my head with the yellow construction paper feather, and they just put it on top of my braids on my hair. I couldn't stand that damn play.
How?
Yes, I was.
How?
Yeah. And we used to say ho.
And I don't even understand how the hell Tonto became the sidekick to the Lone Ranger. But that's a whole nother conversation altogether.
Girl, did you go there?
Yes, I did. And they tried to make Tonto dumb as hell. Like I didn't even like it.
Wasabi.
Pineapples, jock itch. Yes, you know.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry, that is so off topic, but your ass said jock itch. Is that your new safe word?
Yes. No, it's not my safe word, but that means I don't like it. Nobody likes jock itch, so jock itch.
Oh, I love you, KiKi. I swear, I like it. Put that in the KiKiism book, please.
That's hilarious.
I'm just saying.
New definition. Jock itch. Nobody likes it. So enough said.
Nobody likes jock itch. With that being said,
I'm tweeting that.
Go ahead, do what you do. Do what you do. You're supposed to tweet it. It is time for the Ask PDA letter segment of the show. And believe it or not, guys, this is actually about tonight's topic. Can you believe it?
Well, that should be entertaining.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it always seems, what we say all the time, that the universe always sends us stuff even when we're not looking for it. And so this is no different. So I'm going to go ahead and mute you guys so that we can get the disclaimer and everything played and do the letter and we can talk about it. And I have Periscope up and it will be ready to go in just a minute. So let me start this broadcast on Periscope. Huh?
I said, sweet deal.
Yeah, it's time for our Ask PDA letter. It is time for the Ask PDA letter. I still have makeup on. So let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to mute you guys. I'm going to do the disclaimer, and then I'm going to read the letter.
The most fidgety thing in the world. We got ADHD, adult version.
But we're willing to have the uncomfortable conversation so that we can heal and find solutions for our listeners and quite possibly ourselves. Enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, today's Ask PDA letter is being brought to you by our producer's drink of the week. And if you haven't had a chance to check it out, it's caramel apple martini. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, go check it out on facebook.com/playingdevilsadvocate and let our producer know. Let our producer know what is actually going on with if you like the drink or not. So check it out, facebook.com/playingdevilsadvocate, and check out the drink of the week. And now it's time for me to do the Ask PDA letter. We want to hear what you guys have to share the podcast so the Periscope, so people can hear about it. You can also watch us on YouTube live right now. So here's our letter. Dear PDA, quick question. I'm a newlywed who found out that my husband doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving. While we were dating, he would come to my family's gathering, so I never knew he didn't celebrate it. We recently were talking about the holiday season, and I wanted to host Thanksgiving at our home this year, and he was adamantly opposed. I told him I wanted to have the dinner at our home because we have so much to be thankful for. I also wanted to take this time to announce that we're expecting. Long story short, we got into a big argument about how he will never allow his children to celebrate an occasion that is wrought with evil. He also went on to tell me that there will be no Christmas or any quote-unquote Hallmark holidays celebrated in our home. I'm mortified because I don't know what I'm supposed to tell my family, and I'm confused at his out-of-the-blue views on holidays. Is this what I have to look forward to for the rest of our lives? PDA fam, what should I do? Signed, Bait and Switch. Well, first, I'm going to go ahead and give you my opinion on this bait and switch, and then I'm going to go to my cast members to see if they have anything different to say than what I am saying. Here's the first thing. You're newlywed, and you're saying to me that you never knew. I don't know how long you guys dated, but I can't imagine that you would never have a conversation about holidays and how you plan to raise your children once you guys were married. And now you're faced with the situation of he has very strong views about what will not happen in the raising of the children, and you're pregnant, right? So in terms of, is this what you have to look forward to? What you have to look forward to is a real conversation where there's some compromise to be had. If he was compromising in the beginning to get you by going to your family's gatherings, then maybe that's something that you guys need to continue to do. If he doesn't want to host it and have it in his home, then maybe you need to respect that. But you guys do need to have a realistic conversation. What's up, guys, on Periscope? A realistic conversation about how you plan to raise your kids and how you were on some level misled about what type of relationship and how you guys were going to live your lives. Something tells me that because you're excited about the fact that you're having a baby, you wanted to go all out and have this big thing, and part of his in addition to the fact that he doesn't want to celebrate the holidays, part of his hesitation or his adamantness, did I just make up a word? Yes, about him being adamant about not wanting to have it at your home is that you kind of made the decision on your own. And you guys are not communicating effectively pre-marriage and currently in your marriage, because you didn't know what kind of thoughts he had about it, and you didn't communicate to him that you wanted to have this big shindig to do all this other stuff until you had already told your family. And clearly you already told your family, because you said, what am I supposed to tell my family? You shouldn't have told them anything until you had talked to your husband. So with that being said, you guys need to have a conversation about compromise and how you plan to do it. I can understand him if you guys, there's some holidays that he doesn't want to celebrate, like the Columbus Days of the world, or, Sweetest Day, or any other random thing. I can understand that, and you might have to give on that. I don't know if he considers Valentine's Day a Hallmark holiday, because you didn't tell us if he ever celebrated and did anything for you for Valentine's Day. So there's some other stuff that's being left out, and I don't think that you're disclosing it to us. That's fine, but I will tell you, based on the information that you share with us, is that y'all need to have a real conversation about what your wants, needs, and expectations are at this point and going forward in terms of your marriage. If not, you're not going to have any happy holidays, right? What Mary J. Blige says, no happy holidays, you guys will not be having them. I'm going to check with my team right now for you guys who are watching us on Periscope to see if they actually have anything they want to share with us about this letter. Let's see. Sporty, you got anything you want to say?
Well, what I would add to what you just said to our letter writer is my concern definitely comes in to where the children are concerned, and they're not just his children, they're your children as well, and giving those children the opportunity to make a choice about what they want to do with holidays as they get older to deal with it, but don't take anything away from them just because it's his belief. As she says, when you have that conversation with him about making those decisions, don't let him just be the only person that makes decisions about both of your children. That's what I would say to you.
All right, I hear you there, Sporty, but let me counter you with this one. Let me counter you with you said don't allow him because it's his belief. Why not? Don't take it away because it's his belief. Why not? When you raise your children, you instill in your beliefs in your children. You give them stuff based on your beliefs.
But it's not both of their beliefs.
Wait a minute. Let me finish. You instill in your children your beliefs. Why can't you instill in your children what you do not believe in? Don't you think it would be a healthy conversation to say to your children why you wouldn't? See, if you're giving them the option to celebrate it or not, at least instill in them why you don't want to do it or why you don't feel it's necessary to do, as opposed to just saying, no, don't instill that in him.
Well, I mean, if you're going to say both sides, that's one thing, but don't just, let it be because he said so, this is the way it's going to be. If you're having a committed conversation where both people are discussing it, then that's something totally different.
Go ahead.
You know, this is why daddy doesn't do it. This is why mommy does, and make a decision. That's a whole nother conversation. But we're not going to do it because daddy said so. It's something else.
But isn't that later on down the line? We're talking about right now. She's pregnant right now. She's not pregnant. We're not talking about once the chip. Yeah, we talking about right now. What decision is going to be made right now when he's saying, no, we ain't celebrating Thanksgiving in my house. We're not doing any of this stuff. I don't give a shit what your family say. This ain't going down like that.
Then they need to find a compromise, because that's not fair to her either. You know, she can't just, because he said so. I mean, what the fuck is that?
Well, Sporty, you don't know the nature of their relationship. And you don't know if that's how they've had their relationship.
You're absolutely right.
Hang on. You don't know if I said so is what works in their relationship. So if that's something that they're comfortable with and that's the nature of their relationship, then it is because he said so, and we don't have anything to say about it. Andreas, I'm going to go to you.
Yeah. I'm sorry. There's, you know, it's kind of hard to give an opinion about something when so much has been left out. I don't know how long they've been dating, and when I say how long they've been dating for more than a year. Did she get something for Christmas? Did they celebrate the last Christmas? Because if he did give her something for last Christmas, then he does celebrate Christmas, or he was just misleading her. If he didn't give her something for last Christmas, then she already knew that he didn't celebrate it. When it comes to Thanksgiving, if he went to the family's affairs for Thanksgiving, and I'm more than positive that he's going to continue to go to the family's house for Thanksgiving. I mean, it's his crib. You guys are married, and I don't think that I'm not sure how that should go. I think that maybe it's just best that y'all just keep going to your family's house for Thanksgiving. I can't comment too much more on that because so much is left out, so I'm going to have to leave it there.
Well, I got a poem, and it says, roses are red, violets are blue. This sporty angel, I don't give a fuck what he say, do what you do. Nah.
Well, let's be clear about something, ladies. Let's just be clear about something, Andreas and Sporty. This is a marriage.
Yes, ma'am.
They're not dating.
It is, and I understand.
Hang on. This is a marriage. They are newlyweds. They need to work this out, or their marriage is not going to go any further. She's going to be spending the holidays with her family, and he's going to be sitting at home. And who knows? That might be what he wants, her to go some damn where and get out of his hair. We don't know. But again, based on the information that is provided in this letter, the best thing to say is have a conversation, a real conversation. Those conversations that we talk about, those uncomfortable ones that you don't have often enough, but you should have, because had you known how important, I don't know what that tapping is, but it's driving me insane. Had you known how important the holidays were to him, to you, had he known that, maybe you didn't make it out to be a big deal. You know what I mean? We don't know. And there's like I said, there's a lot of information you didn't disclose, but the best thing that you can do in this situation is have a conversation, know what your deal breakers are, and be able to stand by those deal breakers and what the repercussions of those deal breakers are. Can it possibly end your marriage? Absolutely. Can it cause a rift? Absolutely. Can y'all just come to terms with it? I'm not going and doing that holiday shit. You fine. You can go ahead and do it if you want to. You know what I mean? A lot of people make that compromise. That's completely up to you. I'm not going to tell you to leave your husband. I'm not going to tell you fuck him. He ain't the boss of you. I'm not going to tell you any of that. I don't know the dynamics of your relationship. So what I will say, have the conversation and keep it moving. And like I said, make sure you know what your wants, needs, and expectations are, know what your deal breakers are, and be willing to stand by them. Dino, I apologize. I didn't get a chance to get to you on yours. Did you want to comment? I'm sorry. Somebody muted him.
Yeah, I was saying something before, but I knew I was muted when you interjected when I was talking. I thought I must be muted. Anywho, as I was saying though, I believe that okay, they are in a marriage, you know what I'm saying? So that's cool. They do have to converse with one another. And I'm the same way actually. I don't celebrate none of that stuff. So if I want to get married, she's already know that I don't celebrate Christmas, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, Halloween, I don't do none of that stuff. You know what I mean? If you celebrate, that's you. And if we have a new child in the world, of course you're going to, just like you said, you want to steal in your child, whatever you want to steal in your child, but I'm going to put my beliefs in that child as well. That child has to grow, like you said, Kiki, have to use their own judgment on what they want to believe on that day. That's it to me. You know what I'm saying? They just need to converse and work that out.
Yeah. Yeah, big shout out to all of you guys. Big shout out to all of you guys in watching us on Periscope. We are having the conversation on our show, Playing Devil's Advocate, and we had our Ask PDA advice letter, and we are all chiming in, giving our opinions on that. And tonight's topic was thanks, but no thanks given. And so we were talking about the hypocrisy and the legacy of Thanksgiving and how we celebrate these things that have come to pass. So Sporty still has something else that she wanted to say because for some reason she thinks she's supposed to get the last word. Go ahead.
No, it wasn't the last word. I was listening to Dino because Dino said he don't celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving either. But Dino said earlier in the show, he'll still eat a plate. He'll still fix a plate and eat, right? So Dino, let's just say, for instance, I visit you for Christmas, and I show up and hand you a set of keys for a Christmas present to your new vehicle of your dreams. Are you going to accept my Christmas present? Or because you don't celebrate the holiday, you're not going to take it?
Give it to me the next day. Why not do it that way? So,
No. I'm giving it to you as Christmas present because that's when I want to give it to you. So you're not going to take it on Christmas?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Here's my question. Here's my question about this, though. If you know that he doesn't celebrate Christmas, why are you going to try and ram it down his throat? Because I want to give it to you on Christmas. You trying to ram your thought process and your belief system down his throat.
I wanted to ram it down his throat.
I'm not saying you did. This is my point on it. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that you are ramming this down his throat. My point was to this effect was if he says and you know that he doesn't believe in Christmas, why would you then say to him, but what if I want to give it to you, you're not going to accept it? If you know that he doesn't celebrate Christmas, what harm would it do in allowing to wait the 24 hours or give it to him on Christmas Eve even? I mean, it's not, what's the big deal about it? I don't understand why everybody has to dig their heels in about what their belief system is and to be damned with what you believe. And if you don't do it now, if you don't do it my way, then either you don't care about me, you don't respect me, you don't do that, you don't do this. And it doesn't have to be all or nothing all the time. If you understand this person doesn't celebrate this holiday, then don't force it. Respect that choice, whether it's a religious decision or a personal decision. Respect it and say, okay, I do, so we have to figure something out. If you want to buy him that car and you want to give it to him on Christmas, and you bought it as a Christmas gift, but you know that he doesn't celebrate Christmas, give it to him the day before, give it to him the day after, give it to him the week before. I mean, whatever. Because ultimately, it's not about the day that you're giving the gift. It's about you think that much of him to give him that gift. So to pinpoint it just on that day, you then cheapen the sentiment, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
On Christmas Day, you give it to me as a Christmas gift. I would not accept it as a Christmas gift, but I'll take the gift anyway. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you guys on Periscope for being a part of our Ask PDA letter segment. And we will be getting out of here. But if you want to hear the rest of our conversation, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/playingdevilsadvocate and click the link. You can watch us. We're streaming live on YouTube right now. So go check us out. Until next time, Periscope, we'll see you. We're always uncensored, unscripted, unapologetic. All right, y'all. Since we've been fighting, my producer been yelling at me. I'm sorry. I've been being mischievous over here. Somebody might wonder what's in my cup.
What's in your cute little pink cup?
None of your beeswax.
You drinking a week.
It's the non-alcoholic caramel apple martini.
The Shirley Temple Martini.
I believe
let me
that.
read some of this. Let me read some of the stuff that's in our. You said a Shirley Temple margarita. Shut up. Some of the stuff in our chat room. It says agreed. She should already know how he got down before marriage. They said the deal breaker should have been addressed before the marriage. And I thought this was the reason for dating. Absolutely, Wes, but that's a whole nother conversation on dating. We always talk about, you know, especially since that's my specialty in terms of being a life coach, is relationships, is that oftentimes we don't have the uncomfortable conversation. We don't want to say to somebody, I don't believe in this, or I feel this way, because if your thought process or your belief system is a little bit more extreme than that person's, then you don't want them to think of you a certain way. Well, here's the thing. Think of me any way you want to. You know, you like it, love it, but you're going to respect it. What I will say is that you don't have to, you know, you won't disrespect me. You know, I won't have that. In no circumstances, any relationship, work, business, friends, family, whatever, but we have to learn to agree to disagree and respect other people's positions. And our position in this conversation tonight was not to say that Thanksgiving should be wiped off the calendar. Nobody should ever give thanks for anything in their lives. What we're saying is that we need to all be mindful of how this came to pass. And if we are okay with how this came to pass, then continue on with that. But if you aren't, then create yourself a new tradition. Create yourself a new reason why you are celebrating what you are celebrating. But don't forget those who had to suffer as a result of this. And that's all that we're trying to say. To, you know, ultimately at the end of the day, we want you to take away from this conversation. We always are advocates for knowing why you believe what you believe, and being advocates of being clear and not being sheeple. We're not sheeple. You know, they are free to disagree with me until the cows come home. I don't force them to agree with me. And this would be a very boring ass conversation if everything I said, they was like, you know what, you're right, KiKi. If that's the case, I can sit in the mirror and talk to myself. You know what I mean? So again, you know, I do these things to challenge everybody, myself as well. You know, and Cousin Chan brought up a very interesting point to all of us that I think should be actually the last thing that we go on before we get out of here and next week talk about next week's show, is that what are you willing to do? What are you willing to give up? If you believe that Thanksgiving is some bullshit, or if you believe anything is some bullshit, and you want to speak up about it, what are you going to do so that your words and your actions can be consistent? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice? And with that being said, on behalf of Cousin Chan, our producer, Sporty Spunky Angel, Andreas, absolutely nothing like a pimp, and the incredible invisible intern number 3, and myself, KiKi, the consummate provocateur, we thank you so much for spending your Thanksgiving Eve with us and indulging us on our rant. Also, I would like to say don't miss next week's show, because we all know December 1st is a World AIDS Day, so make sure that you know your status and you have gotten your get out and fuck free card. Is that what you call it, Sporty?
Yes.
Make sure you have that, and we will be having a conversation about knowing your status and being responsible and understanding how to have safe sex and out here in the world. Since we all experimenting and doing all kind of crazy shit these days, we want to make sure we know how to do it safely, and that we are not becoming, HIV positive and contracting and sharing and passing things along that we should not, ought not do. With that being said, I am out the door. I can't do no more. If there's anything else that they need to know about us, what do they need to do, people?
Google us, bitches.
Unless
That's right.
KiKi
Google
mama.
us. Yes, unless you my mama, Google me. With that being said, y'all ready to have a KiKi?
Yes. Let's have a KiKi, girl.
All right, and before we have a KiKi, don't forget, when the bell rings, Dino Wells, Lick the Warrior, now live. I mean, it's on video on demand. Check it out. All right, let's have that KiKi, y'all.
Please have my phone. What are you doing? You're supposed to. That was my kid.
Wonderful, cheeky.